Hi, Danny.
Hi, Mia. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing on this beautiful Friday?
I am good. I know the day is so beautiful today. So
It's gorgeous.
I know.
Well,
Yes.
thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in today. It's yet again another edition of our Friday afternoon designer chat. My name is Mia Farrell. I'm a designer with ACO. We are here to help you love where you live, no matter what. Even in the current state of affairs, we are here to continue business as unusual, which includes our Friday designer chats live on Facebook. So I'm here with Danny Cole today. She's going to introduce us to our special guest. But first, I'd like to put a question out there for anybody that's tuning in. We're going to be talking about appliances today. So my question for you guys is, if you could replace any appliance in your house tomorrow or today, which one would it be? Why? What are you looking for? What do you like about it? What are you looking to replace? Drop us a line in the comments. We'll address it. Any questions that you have that pop up throughout the broadcast, leave us a comment and we'll address your questions. So who do we have today, Danny?
Thanks, Mia. Thanks, everybody, for coming back this week. I am really enjoying a lot our Facebook lives with guests. Today, I have a very special guest. Her name is Alex Cain. She's with Tisdale, and her position is actually like a liaison position between Sub-Zero and Wolf and Cove appliances in the design community. So she knows about the trends. She knows about appliances. So it's going to be a great one. So send us your questions. Let's see.
Hello. Good afternoon. Hi, Danny and Mia.
Hi, Alex.
Thanks for having me today. Happy to be a part of your Friday afternoon chats.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're happy to have you.
Yeah.
So why don't you start maybe talking a little bit about yourself and
Sure.
And then what people are looking for in appliances today? What is the big trend that you see?
Sure. Thank you. So I joined Tisdale Distributing last fall. We are based in Mason, Ohio. I cover Indiana and Central Ohio, mainly in and around Columbus. So I travel back and forth, and we have a live showroom with everything we make that's live in that Mason showroom. So anytime a designer or a client wants to come and experience something that they may not have at their local dealer, I'm happy to host them there as well. It's a quick 2-hour trip, but usually it's not too big of an ask. So today I'm going to share with you, I call this kind of cooking and appliance trends of what we're seeing now. Mostly what we've noticed is people's lifestyles these days have become more of they're cooking on a more of a fresher environment. So we're seeing less people wanting a freezer capacity and wanting more refrigerator options in multiple ways. So we're seeing a lot of trends that way. Today I'm going to talk about, I call it the 5 S's, the Fab 5 of current cooking and appliance trends. We'll talk about speed ovens, steam ovens, and sous vide cooking. And I'll layer in a little bit about smart appliances and small spaces as well, and some of the offerings that we have in there. So we have a lot to kind of chat about, but that's kind of what we're seeing trending right now is lifestyles changing from shopping more day to day or 3 days at a time, as well as folks who might have a vacation home or things like that and want to bring in that same, maybe they're used to that luxury appliance at home and want something similar in a smaller footprint in like a cottage or lake house or an urban apartment somewhere. So we have a lot of options available there where you're still getting that performance and flexibility, in that appliance in a smaller footprint. So don't have to sacrifice.
That's great.
Yeah. So I'll start off with speed ovens. So speed and steam ovens are things that we didn't really grow up with. So we didn't see our grandma cooking with a steam oven or a speed oven. And what are those? So a speed oven is this is a steam. We'll start with that. That's good. Thank you, Shane. Convection steam ovens use a combination of convection heat as well as steam. You can do absolutely everything in this appliance. So there are 5 easy quick start modes that go into the steam oven. They're ideal for cooking vegetables, rice, hard-boiled eggs, and soft poaching fish in just the plain steam mode. And a lot of people think that that's all this can do. Absolutely not. You're not buying an entire oven just to steam vegetables. Yeah. It also is a full-on convection oven. So you can literally use it as a second oven. It is a full-on, a convection oven, has a fan in the back. It's basically filling that oven cavity with even heat distribution. So that basically will cook your meals 25% faster. So the convection mode, you can use it plain. You can also use a convection steam mode. So this is combining now the steam with the convection. So this is your ultimate like crispy outside, juicy inside thing for things like roasts and casseroles and mac and cheese. It's fantastic.
Yum.
Yeah, it's like a perfect appliance.
Yeah, and the best thing about the convection steam oven too is the reheat mode. So unlike a microwave, when you stick your leftovers in there and it kind of comes out like okay, the reheat mode in a convection steam oven uses the steam and dry heat, and it really can bring that leftover back to life, like that succulent life. It interjects that right amount of moisture into that environment. A lot of people think it comes out almost better than it was the night before. It literally reconstitutes it.
Awesome.
So if you have picky eaters and they're like kind of turn their nose up at leftovers, this is for you.
I think lots of people have leftovers right now too, with all the takeout everybody's
right. I think people are cooking more, which has been so fantastic. People are making a lot of breads at home. I can't find flour anywhere. A convection steam oven is fantastic for bread as well. So it kind of can create that shiny kind of outer coating, that gummy outer coating too. It's perfect for breads too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll talk a little bit about a speed oven as well. So unlike steam, a speed oven is basically a combination of, that's a vacuum seal drawer. Let's talk about that. Love it. I love it. Okay, let me switch. Vacuum seal drawers have been, this one can actually do a bunch of things. She's basically putting herbs in this one here. Sous vide cooking has kind of become a thing of late. It's a technique where you place food in a vacuum sealed bag. You can actually use a Ziploc. So I'm talking about a vacuum sealed drawer here, but you can use a Ziploc for it. And it's immersed in a water bath. And so it basically slow cooks at a precise temperature. So our convection steam oven can mimic the sous vide method of, instead of immersing it in a water bath, which you can do over your oven, you can put it into the convection steam oven environment and it will produce that same result. The great thing about sous vide, and a lot of restaurants use this method, is that's a great picture. You can infuse butter, herbs, spices in there. You can't undercook or overcook that food. The convection steam oven will take that food, bring it to a precise temperature, and hold it until you're ready to serve it. So it's great.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great for meat. So they're showing a steak here. It will keep it, say you want it at 156 degrees. It will keep it there for 2 hours until you're ready to put it. And we all recommend to put it on a pan sear at the end to get that nice crust at the end, and just stick it on your iron skillet or on a stovetop on both sides, and you'll get a beautiful interior with a nice crispy exterior with a sous vide. So it's
this
great.
Conversation is making me so hungry. It's so great though too, because then when you consider when you're making a meal and you're making sides and you're trying to put all these things together and time everything properly to do it, then you're not like, okay, well I have to get it out at this time because this is going to be done then. You can just kind of wait on it. So
totally. It's great when you're entertaining. So
absolutely.
You literally can you can join your guests, being drinking the wine, not being tied to the kitchen and worrying about, what's happening in there. So
that's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Another thing, I'll go back to speed oven real quick. A speed oven basically combines microwave power with a convection oven. Our speed oven also has a broil element on the top. So unlike a traditional microwave, when you cook something, and like say chicken, and it kind of comes out white and not very appetizing. Ours has a broil element on top, so you're getting that nice caramelization, a little bit of browning there with it. So basically a speed oven is a 900 watt microwave, a 1500 watt broil on top, and it also uses that convection oven power. So it will combine a little bit of microwave, some bit of convection cooking, and some broiling depending on which mode you have. So that's where you get the speed from. You might get 10% microwave and the rest is convection, but it does help to, on that cook time, it does speed it up a little bit. The great thing about it is these, from a design perspective, it's a stylish kind of space saver because they have that drop down door design that very much would match up with your either the steam oven or a traditional wall oven. So you're getting that stylistically that those ovens will match and create your kind of consistent sleek look. So if Shane wants to maybe show us an example of that.
Yeah, I think we have 3 different styles to show, which is fantastic because you had mentioned to us the idea that no matter what our designs are, we can find an appliance that fits.
Exactly. So this is the contemporary look. So you can do, it's very, very clean line, very sleek. You've got a wall oven, a convection steam oven, and a speed oven. So you see everything kind of matches and looks consistent. We also have a pro and a transitional. So depending on what you're going for from a design perspective, we got you covered. So the good thing about the speed oven is if you can't get away from a microwave out there, that's the Pro Series. Mm-hmm. So if you can't get away from a micro, what's that?
Very industrial looking. That would make me feel like I was a professional chef.
that beefy look is fantastic here.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think a lot about my clients. Of course, they're looking at the functionality, but the aesthetics and the look, the clean lines. I think that's one of the things that I see my clients when they see it, and they compare it to other brands. They see like how how it look nice and how it's aligned and has a very modern look to it.
I'll tell you a secret. The number one thing people look at with appliances, what do they want? It's aesthetic. It's how it looks.
Yes,
absolutely.
Hit the nail on the head.
Yes.
I don't care if you're a cooker or a looker. It's like you're either one or the other.
You just know about the look and how how clean the lines and how it looks. Yes, I agree.
I know. I have people go, I just want those red knobs. We got you covered. But no,
we have the red knobs.
All the red knobs.
That's right. That quality, that performance, and that longevity in the product is there. And I'll say anything Wolf Sub-Zero makes is built to last 20 years right out of the gate. So there are several people, I mean, from a design perspective, where you guys come in, it may not be a total gut remodel, but it may just be more of a refresh. Mm-hmm. So if they have a Sub-Zero fridge, and this happens all the time, and they're going to go to a lighter color palette, say painting white cabinetry and things like that, they can change their panels on their older model to that white, or even a stainless in several cases. So having the ability to that flexibility to have that beyond, and we have people calling us after 20 years and saying, hey, I want to change my panels. Okay, we can do that.
That's awesome.
Not very many manufacturers can say that. And so that's kind of one of those things where I feel like Sub-Zero kind of stands apart in the industry, built to last a long time. Customer service is outstanding, but when you make that investment in that product, you're not stuck if that part's no longer made, or that we keep our parts for a long, long time.
That's very good news.
Yeah.
I also like it's 100% American made, correct?
Absolutely. Yes.
I think it's another good point, selling point.
Especially right now. Mm-hmm. We are based in Madison, Wisconsin. That's where our factory is located. We also have another factory in Goodyear, Arizona. So I had the opportunity to visit Madison, Wisconsin last October and got to tour the factory and see how these are made. It's literally a work of art. It's outstanding. We introduced Cove this year, in 2019, dishwasher that is born and bred a Wolf Sub-Zero product and has been wildly successful thus far. So, when we were there, we saw like the lines independently of each other and how they all come together. It was fascinating. But the biggest, I think, takeaway for me from an appliance perspective was the testing that was done before they even left the factory. There's extensive testing that goes on. So there's hardly ever like a dead on arrival appliance, the DOA, the dreaded DOA. So that's fantastic as well.
Now, Alex, you had mentioned something about the idea of smart appliances. Can you shed a little bit of light on how our appliances can be smart?
Yeah. So connecting appliances has never been easier. Wolf Sub-Zero has developed an owner's app. And some of the benefits of connecting your appliances are things like being able to monitor your refrigerator. So say the door's been left open, it will alert you. If the air purification the filter needs to be changed, it will tell you. Select cooking modes on your oven. You can preheat remotely. So say you go to
nice.
Yeah, so that's fantastic. You can receive maintenance reminders as well. Also, another neat thing is you can kind of remote service and instant product software updates that are available through the app. So say you have something that's going on with your appliance that can be basically that service issue can kind of be sent to the servicer to make sure they have that part on their truck when they come to actually replace it at your home, so they're not making multiple trips.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And you can also, so say on the Cove for your dishwasher soap, you can link that with Amazon Dash Replenishment, and it will come automatically. Fantastic. Yeah.
We are truly living in the future.
I know, yeah. You're driving home and you can turn your oven on. You can get At home, it's all ready.
That's awesome.
Yes. Very nice. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So
now, you also mentioned something earlier about the idea, sometimes when people are looking to remodel their kitchen, they're just looking for a facelift. Other times we're coming in and we're doing full guts. I had put a question out on Instagram to just say, hey, what questions you guys have that I can bring to Alex tomorrow during our broadcast? And one of the questions we got was, is it easy to put a hood in when there's not one?
This is a loaded question.
There's a lot there.
You're ready for this? It depends.
Right.
So first, and you guys I'm sure would say the same thing, really need to have your contractor or remodeler kind of do a site inspection to sort of identify the possibilities for venting. Venting outside is ideal in every scenario. Not always possible, but there are recirculating options out there as far as venting is concerned, and they're just not as effective, but they're available. So from a cooking perspective, your appliance, depending on where it's located within that kitchen footprint, that will help determine which vent hood type would be ideal. So whether it's an island hood, a chimney hood, a hood insert, there's a lot of options and sizes available. And as you guys know, there are recommended CFM ratings depending on what cook surface you're doing. So electric surfaces and gas surfaces require a different amount of CFM pulls. So if it's a gas, typically it's a minimum of 600 CFM. If it's electric, it's typically 300. So your local appliance dealer would be a great resource for matching appropriate vent hood and capacity for that cooking appliance. So the regular consumer doesn't have to worry about that. But I think kind of identifying what's possible first within that project as far as ventilation is concerned, especially in a remodel where you're having to go through walls and figure out, how long that duct run is, et cetera, or if that could be vented to the outside, is probably the first place I would start.
Yeah, and as designers, we're able to kind of have that conversation ahead of time to say, this is what's ideal, and this is what the setup is, this is what seems to be possible in your particular project. But part of our process at ACO is to have a scope review before you sign your contract, so you know that we are taking a look at every single aspect of your project. So, that would be one of those things that we'd be talking through during that scope review process. Danny, do you have anything to add on that?
We bring our project manager, we look it over, make sure if you can vent out, how it's going to go between the ceiling joists. So we will address all those concerns before we even start the job, so there's no surprises later on.
Right.
We avoid as much as we can. So.
Exactly.
Right. Try to minimize the surprises.
Well, ventilation that's a really good question, because we joke that ventilation is like the wild, wild west of like of kitchen planning. It's just so great question.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Alex. All of this information is fantastic. Lots of different functionalities that I'm sure a lot of people didn't realize, especially the fact that some of those options have so many options within them. Just within one appliance, you can do so many different things. So this has been great today. For anybody that's listening, next week, we're going to be talking about what it's like to live through a remodel. So the process we were just talking about a minute ago, if you haven't lived through it before, we're going to dive into it.
You know how hard it is, so yeah.
Yes. One of our project managers is going to join us.
Yeah, so if you're thinking about remodel and you're going to be leaving the house and you have all these questions, send us to us prior, and then we'll be able to answer them. And thanks, Alex, for all this. It was very informative.
Thank you very much.
Yes, it was awesome.
Enjoyed it. Thanks, girls.
Thank you so much, ladies. Enjoy the beautiful weekend.
I know.
You too. Bye.